Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, woman tries to steal our table at restaurant while we're eating. Entitled woman knocks on my door wanting an ornament. Car wash attendant stole my handicap placard. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Woman tries to steal our table at restaurant while we're eating. My husband, myself and our almost 2-year-old were eating breakfast at a very small mom-and-pop diner that had 8 tables and 2 waitresses. My husband and I were done eating and had paid the bill. My little toddler was of course taking her sweet time and still eating, and we were contentedly sipping our coffees. A rush of people started coming in the door, and their wait times gradually increasing with each new table added to the wait list. People waited outside on this day, and the waitresses offered them cups of coffee while they waited. A woman entered and said, "I'll sit here," and gestured to our table. The waitress said, "There are other people ahead of you." The woman argued back, "What people? Where are they?" And the waitress said they might be walking outside. "Can I offer you a cup of coffee to take outside?" And the entitled woman responded, "You can put the cup of coffee at this table," again gesturing to our table that we are still occupying. This continued on before finally the woman agreed to be added to the wait list. It was so annoying, I felt bad for the busy waitress to have to deal with her on top of trying to do the rest of her job. ETA. My toddler is a person. You all were once people too. We occupied our table for a totality of less than an hour. At this point, we were less than 10 minutes away from being finished. Thinking back, this small diner had 6 tables and a small counter for seating, which is why the wait times became long quickly. Some people are slower eaters, and for 10 minutes you shouldn't be punished for that. Some people just don't have any common decency. People are assholes. I would have let the waitress know when we were leaving just in case the old battle axe tried to jump the line. It would have been impossible for her to jump the line. The seating area was like a small room with no more than 8 tables crammed into it. The waitress could see exactly when we were leaving because the entire restaurant, including the kitchen, was visible to everyone. She was forced to go wait in her car, lol. What could the woman possibly have going on that's harder than 2 parents making out to eat for once with a toddler? I work in restaurants. You'd be amazed how few people consider children as people. Like, we get the party of 4 up to the host stand, and they have 4 adults and 3 kids, because kids don't count, apparently. Restaurants should be allowed, and enforce, denying people service who act like this. After the second attempt, I'd just kick her out. I would suddenly need another omelette and French toast for the table. That 1 hour at the table includes sitting down, deciding what you want, the food cooking, and you eating it. What are you people on? Not everyone inhales their food. Their kid was still eating, so they paid their bill, so as soon as they were done they could leave. Y'all must be great company at restaurants if you're rushing your friends and family out the door. I was having a steak and lobster at an Outback bar. It was a real treat for me on a special occasion. When I arrived, there were like 2 other people at the 25-ish seats around the bar. It filled up quickly though because it's open seating. A lady and her friends came in while I was very much at the start of the meal. First thing she said was that I needed to move so all her friends could all sit together. I looked at her, the full plate and drink, her plate, etc. Just said I'd be done before long. She sarcastically told me that they wouldn't want me to hurry or anything. I let it go but did not hurry. I've since thought of a lot of things I should have said. People are entitled assholes. Entitled woman knocks on my door wanting an ornament. A few years ago, I got a knock at the door and there was this older woman standing there. I politely asked if I could help her. She said she'd seen an ornamental lantern thing in my window and wanted to buy it off me. Points for actually wanting to pay, I guess. I told her it wasn't for sale. At this point she got annoyed and said, "But I offered to buy it and I've wanted one for years, I'll give you £5 for it." I still told her it wasn't for sale. Again she started up with the "but I want one." At this point I was getting angry, and instead of just shutting the door I just said, "Look lady, I'm not selling it. And not that it's any of your business, but it was a gift from a recently passed relative, and even if I was ready to part with it, it wouldn't be to you. You want one that bad, try a shop." She then said, "But they cost a fortune in the shop, I offered you £5. I just laughed and said, "So you tell me that they cost a fortune, but you want me to sell it to you for £5? Not happening. And even if I was willing to sell it for that much, probably would sell it for less, tbh it was slightly dented in the back, it wouldn't be to you for your crappy attitude towards me." Again I got the "but I want one" line. I just said, "Oh well, you're not getting that one, sucks to be you lady." I went to close the door at this point, so she stuck her foot out to stop me. I politely suggested she move it or she'd have to drive herself to A&E with a damaged foot, as this door is closing either way. And she had 2 minutes to decide whether to go away or I'm calling the police. I told her never to come back either. I later looked the lanterns up, and £5 second hand is still an insult. They were going for around £40 second hand. Maybe if she had a better attitude I might have considered it. My relative wouldn't have minded, but it's still in pride of place in the window, so if that lovely lady, sarcasm noted I hope, can see it when she drives past, I wonder if she ever did get one, lol. But I want it. I wonder how many times she has tried this in the past. I assuming she did, and the person said, "You're asking for something of mine without even offering anything in return," which is why she was saying, "But I offered $5. Man, I wonder where some people get the balls. Like I would never think walking past a house that I could just buy decorations. Like I get small talk like asking where you got it from and how much and etc. so you can go get it yourself, but just straight up asking for something. Like I can be fairly shameless at times, but even still there are limits. If she'd have asked those kinds of questions, I would probably have ended up letting her have it. To be honest, I don't particularly like it, but I'm the sentimental type, and having just lost my gran, then I wanted a reminder around. But I'm also the "be rude to me you can get lost" type too, lol. The amount of adults who never graduated from childhood is staggering. Even as a kid, I understood just because I wanted something, it didn't mean I was entitled to it. These people are a walking plague. This is when you start singing, "You can't always get what you want," followed up with, "bye bye bye." I just wonder how you can have these thoughts in your head, but then actually act on them. Gee, I like that thing on this random person's lawn, I better to offer them a pittance for it and fight when they don't agree. Car wash attendant stole my handicap placard. Talk about entitled. The car attendant, which I do not know who did it, took my handicap placard from my car. My dad, 80, did me a favor and took my car out for a full service wash. A good $30 car wash. When he came home I asked him where the placard was, and he said he didn't touch it. We never take the placard off the rear view mirror. We looked all over the inside of my car. Everywhere. And no placard. We finally concluded it was stolen at the car wash. We called the car wash and told them what happened. They said they are not liable or responsible for personal belongings in the car, and there is nothing they can do with not even a wow, or I can't believe one of my employees would do that. Nothing but a cold one-sentence response. We hung up in awe. Who in their right mind would take a handicap placard from a handicapped person? As mentioned above, WTF? People are assholes. Edit. Thank you all for your wonderful advice and experiences. I have learned quite a few things. I have not driven since December 2022. My family takes care of me. I am on heavy medication and never even looked at the placard. I just have a hard time remembering things. My brain is consistently foggy, and space, and sometimes loopy. My family takes good care, but we are all new to this and have to learn somehow, and this one was very sad for someone to do that, but a lesson for us to be more careful and not to drive with it. I don't think contacting the police will help anything. But I did tell the state and they did not care. They just shook their head in awe and issued a new one. I'm surprised that something like this is not a big deal. After becoming sick and in a wheelchair, I realize the struggles the handicapped people have. Stores are literally impossible to go through in a wheelchair. Fitting room, I scrap the door with my wheelchair when going in because it's not wide enough. This state does not cater or even care about Ada. It's very frustrating. And I believe it's not just my state I live in. It's happening everywhere. Go back to the car wash, advise them that an official document, not personal property, has gone missing during the time it was with them and you will be reporting it to the authorities. Suggest they have another look for it. Might concentrate their minds. In the UK, handicap badges remain the property of the issuing authority. It was definitely a lesson learned. I take everything out now. My placard, my cell phone cords, etc. I never really left anything valuable in my car, but it didn't dawn on me that a handicap placard is valuable. They are very valuable. I keep my locked up when not in use, and car locked when it's in use cause people steal those easily cause they are lazy. Go back. Remind him a handicap placard is not a personal item. It belongs to the state. He has 1 hour to find it or you are calling the cops and the DMV to report it stolen on his premises. I'd go up there with an officer. It's not the same as having some coin stolen or a charger. This is state issued. This is why I refuse to use services like this unless I clean my car 100%. Just to add, the HC placard is not meant to permanently hang from your mirror but to be hung only when the vehicle is parked. If those who did this would actually look at the card, it says not to drive with it place. Unfortunately, the area where the card says this is hidden when you hang it on the mirror. Otherwise, it can obscure your view out the windshield while driving. I hope you get this resolved. People that do this are very low indeed. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.